Welcome to GED Mastery. Let's talk about probability. So what is probability? Probability is the likelihood of something happening. And when we see simple probability, it will be the likelihood of one event happening, whereas compound probability is the likelihood of two or more events happening. So simple probability could be what's the chance it will rain on Tuesday, and compound probability would be what's the chance it'll rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's take a look at an example. Number 1, a deck of cards has 52 cards with 13 red hearts, 13 red diamonds, 13 black clubs, and 13 black spades. So that's the standard deck of cards, right? What is the probability of drawing a red card from the deck? Okay, well they told us right here there's 13 red hearts and 13 red diamonds. So if we add those up, we'll have the total desired outcomes. So that's 26. And we're going to put that over the total possible outcomes. There's 52 total cards, and we're drawing from that whole deck. So we'll put 52 on the bottom. Now, I know that 26 is half of 52, so I can reduce this to 1/2. If you're not sure how to do this, you could just put this fraction into your calculator just like this and hit enter, and it will reduce it for you. So our answer is D. Number 2, we have that same standard deck of cards, and this time they're asking what is the probability of drawing an ace? Okay, how many aces are there in a deck of cards? Right, 4. And we're still drawing from that whole deck. So we have 52 possibilities when we draw. And when we reduce that fraction, that'll be 1/13. So A is our answer. Number 3, we've got that same deck of cards, and this time they want to know what's the probability of drawing a red king or the 2 of spades. So if we see or, we're going to be adding the probabilities. So we'll make 2 probabilities, 2 fractions, and we'll add them together. So what's the probability of drawing a red king? Well, there's a king of hearts that's red, and there's a king of diamonds that's red. So that's 2 out of 52. And the 2 of spades, there's only 1 of those. So that's 1/52. And remember, when we're adding fractions, once we have a common denominator, which we do, we can add the top and keep the bottom the same. So our probability of drawing a red king or the 2 of spades is 3 out of 52, C. Number 4, we've got the same deck of cards one last time, and we want to know the probability of drawing a red card and, without putting that card back, this is important, and then a black card. So we had or before, now we have and. If we want both events to happen, we have to multiply those probabilities. So first, what's the probability of drawing a red card? We already figured that out. It was 1/2, right? We could go ahead and do that again, 26/52, and reduce the fraction. So now, this is important, we're not putting that card back. So for our next probability, we know we only have 51 cards this time. And now they want to know the probability of drawing a black card. Well, there's still 26 black cards because we drew a red card. So 26/51, and let's go ahead and multiply across the top and across the bottom. So we've got 26/102, and then we can go ahead and reduce that fraction. We could divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. So the top by 2 would be 13, and then the bottom by 2 would be 51. So our probability of having both of those events happen is 13 out of 51, C. Number 5, now we have a spinner. A spinner has 8 equal sections as shown. If you spin the spinner, what is the probability that you will land on a number greater than 12? Okay, so let's identify all of the numbers greater than 12. We've got 25, 15, and 20. So only 3 of the numbers are greater than 12. So that would be 3 over the total number of possible outcomes, which is 8 because there's 8 sections of the spinner. So that probability is 3/8 C. Okay, we've got the spinner again, and we want to know the probability of not landing on 10. So let's just count how many numbers are not 10. We've got 5, 15, 20, 5, and 25. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers that are not 10. And we've still got that total of 8. So our answer is 5/8. Number 7. Joe is going to the park this week. On Monday, the chance of rain is 30%. On Tuesday, the chance of rain is 60%. What is the probability that it will rain on Monday and Tuesday? So we've got and here with 2 events. So what do we need to do? Multiply those probabilities. So they've already done the probability, right? We're not weathermen, but someone else is. And we can go ahead and multiply those together to get the probability of both of those happening. So remember to use your percent sign on the calculator, and we will get 18%. So that's A. Okay, last question. What is the probability of flipping a coin 3 times and getting heads every time? So we have 3 separate events, and we want to know the probability of all of them happening. So that's kind of like saying and, right? So we're going to have 3 fractions, and we're going to multiply them all together. So what's the probability of getting heads the first time? It's 1/2, right? And what's the probability of getting heads the second time? It's also 1/2. And the third time, it's also 1/2. So we'll multiply the top and multiply the bottom. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So the probability of getting heads when you flip a coin 3 times in a row is 1/8. And look at all of our answer choices, they're in percents. So we could go ahead and convert that to a percent. You could go ahead and do 1 divided by 8 in your calculator, or you could do it by hand. 1 divided by 8, 8 goes into 1 0 times. I'll put a decimal here and carry it up. Add a 0. 8 goes into 10 1 time. So I'll go ahead and subtract. Carry down another 0 here. 8 goes into 20 2 times, and that's 16. So I'm left with 4, carry down a 0, and 8 goes into 40 5 times. Now this is the decimal form of the answer, and remember, if you want to convert a decimal to a percent, you just move the decimal 2 places over to the right. So 0.125 is 12.5%. Let me know how you feel about probability now in the comments. You've got this.